Never seen a lame man walk, never heard a dumb man talk, never seen a blind man see. I promise you will change his name. Never seen a canceled debt, never seen all the poor get fed, never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you will change his name. And find a home. Never seen a weak find the strength.
Hey, everybody! Hey, it is time. It's about that time to break forth with the rhythm and rhyme. I'm here to move you, rhymes to groove you, and I don't. Anyway, whatever the rest Marky Mark said. I'm Bigger T, and I'm joined by my man with the fresh haircut.
Yeah,
Clint Shannon Clark Clint. It's Taco Tuesday when we're recording this, but it's also no hat day for us. Look at it.
Wow.
Who's wearing a hat?
I know. We didn't even plan it out. It's kind of like Blue Shirt Day.
That's right. It just happens sometimes.
Oh, first off, I did this experiment with my facial hair and I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. It don't look good on me. And I almost shaved it right before we got on. How much I hate it.
You sort of look like Prison Clint, just to be honest.
Yeah, I do. I do look like Prison Clint.
Yeah, like you've been in the hole for a couple of days. You know.
And then I get here and I'm like, okay. And I'm wearing my work uniform and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do the podcast in that. So I go to my closet and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, what looks good? What looks good? I own so many shirts and I wear like 5 of them.
That's right.
Will I give any of them away? Absolutely not.
That's right. I rotate about 6 shirts.
Yeah, that's all I wear. And I'm like, it's an Arkansas Tech tank top kind of day.
What day is not? What happened?
Oh no, dude, the chair like broke back, and then my knees hit the thing, and I think I turned off my lamp. I don't know
Listen what. Listen here, Lane Frost. Don't let it buck you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened.
Let him buck you.
I got
okay, boys.
There we go. I think we're safe.
All right, you safe? You gonna be all right?
Yeah, the lamp's still not on, but I'm alive.
That's all that matters, right?
Guys, I don't know if you've ever seen a 46-year-old man about poop his britches on a live podcast or heard it, but that's what just about happened.
Well, that's the second time that's happened for you on this podcast, so
there we go. I just had to turn it back on. There we go.
All right.
So me and me bought a new house and we're getting settled in, obviously.
Yeah.
So first off, what do you think of the color of this background? Like Anna hates it. Hates the gray because the house is painted this gray.
For those of y'all listening, it's just like a dark gray, sort of almost
dark gray. I love it.
I like it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a dark gray, navy blue type of guy. You know what I mean?
Now, what we did to lighten up the house, we did paint the kitchen yellow.
Oh, that's bright.
So, so you have a bright yellow when you walk in. It kind of balances it out.
Yeah.
And I didn't even go to design school, Travis. My class is self-taught.
Did you have home ec in Greenbrier High?
I did have home ec.
You remember for the senior sewing project in home ec, I made some, and I think your mom made you some of them too, because I was having some with those Elvis boxers, Elvis shorts.
Oh yeah, no, I did.
They were, or your mom may have made you some, and I decided.
My mom made me some. I had some. My mom had made me some, and then you made some, and I think you ended up giving them to me. But like the back was like way down low.
Yeah.
Front, like,
so the front
I had to
was
wear
normal length, and the back was like Daisy Duke length. Like, and I had to wear them around school. Like after you made them, and so like I'm like showing everybody butt cheek, man. It was bad. So they were, they were like a sky blue.
Yeah,
they had little Elvises and little It was some material Walmart had or whatever. And of course,
Yeah.
me and you being the Elvis fans that we are, we were cool to have those. So anyway.
Listen, one more thing my wife did, and I told her it looks dumb. I don't even like it in the background not turned on. So I'm going to show this to you. I told her I'm going to talk about this on the podcast because here we go.
Wow.
Like it doesn't go, does it? Like it's out of place.
Yeah, it because it looks, I mean, to be honest with you, the background, okay, Clint's background, folks, has an American flag, a full-size American flag, full-size Arkansas flag, a Razorback clock, a bookshelf with books and stuff on it.
Feminist propaganda.
Feminist propaganda that thankfully we can't read. But then he just turned on a light in front of the American flag that's like almost a Christmas light looking thing.
Yeah.
It's got like some reds and some blues in it. It's what I'm seeing through the computer here. I just think, I mean, it makes it look like a party atmosphere on that side.
It does. It's like
and the rest of it looks
the mullet of rooms.
The rest of it looks professional.
Business in the front.
That's right. It's
the back.
It's a mullet of rooms.
It's the mullet of rooms. I'm leaving it on now.
The mullet background.
I was going to unplug it because I probably still will. It's bugging me. But it's the mullet of rooms.
Now that we came up with a cool name for it.
The mullet room.
The mullet room.
Coming to you live from Mullet Studio. I did pay my stepson like $40 to keep a mullet for like a month.
Yeah. Nice.
And then Paul paid him like another $40 to keep it another month. So
nice.
Because a mullet is not just a hairstyle, it's a lifestyle. That's Travis, man, so I bought another thing about buying this new house is I'm taking a different way to work. So I'm driving through Worcester every day.
Oh, lovely, lovely place.
I come to the 4-way stop. And it's just I avoid Greenbrier altogether.
Yeah.
So it's nice because I told you about my new route. I don't know who we need to talk about. I don't know if we need to talk to our friend Bob Stubbs, who's on the city council. I don't know if we need to talk to Asa, if we need to have Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Chris Jones debate about it. I don't know what the answer is, but we have to make the Worcester store an historical monument.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, it's like they're letting the building rot. It's like Worcester Grocery is just they're letting the building rot. It needs to be preserved.
Look, yeah, you know how many chicken loaf sandwiches I got out of that place growing up. How many mini muffins and Mountain Dews I got on the way to school in the morning, and bags of candy that of bubble gum and stuff that I would sell to make money at school in junior high. And fireballs. I mean, yeah, that place needs to be. I'll tell you what I need to do, Clint. Here's my plan.
Okay, good.
I'm just gonna up and move up there and fulfill my destiny.
I think you should.
I'm gonna run for mayor of Worcester. You've always said I should.
You should. This is the best idea I've ever heard.
You've always said I was trying to back in the day when I would stay around talking to people forever. I just need to move back up there and run for mayor of Worcester. That's my destiny. God has ordained it long ago. You prophesied about it.
I have.
Days of old. That's just what I need to do. I just need to get my stuff together and just go be the mayor of Worcester.
So now real talk, because I always tease you about running for office. When's the last time you went to a gathering of less than 1,000 people and did not run into somebody you knew?
I run into people I know everywhere.
I mean, you really do.
You know the craziest story about that ever, Clint? I got to tell you this real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
We were on a mission trip up to Schinskes, Missouri, okay, which is, and we took this old lady with us with the church, and we wanted her to go because she was a wonderful lady. She was funny and everything. And she liked to do nursing home stuff. And so we would go into nursing homes and like sing hymns with them, the people, and give them cake, ice cream, and soda pop. Because, hey, they're almost going to die. Let's give them unhealthy stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we go up there and we're in this nursing home in Schinskes, Missouri. And we're giving the people their cake and ice cream and everything. And then this one lady that works there said, we have some that couldn't leave their room. Would y'all like to take some to them? Because we had plenty of cake left over. And so me and this lady, she was like 88 years old at this time or something like that. And she's like 6'2". She's a really sweet lady named Mary Margaret.
Yeah.
Me and her start taking this, I'm pushing this cart, and we go in the first room, and this lady's in there. We give her put some cake and ice cream on her little table thing, and ask her what kind of drink she wants. And she said, "Where are y'all from?" I said, "We're from Arkansas." She said, "Well, I'm from Arkansas." I said, "Whereabouts?" She said, "I'm from Scotland, Arkansas." Well, Scotland's up by Clinton.
Right, yeah.
And it's actually real close to where my grandparents on my mom's side live. In fact, my mom used to go hang out in Scotland when she was a kid and stuff, right? And that's where, like, my uncle lives close to Scotland and anything. So I'm like, okay, so we're going to know the same people. So I first asked her if she knew my grandpa on my mom's side. She didn't know him at first. And then I asked her if she knew my dad. She didn't know my dad at first. And then I said, "Well, do you know Garner Johnson?" which was my grandpa on my dad's side. She said, "My sister married Garner Johnson." This was my step grandmother's sister.
Oh, wow.
And I randomly ran into her, like, at a nursing home in Schinskes, Missouri. I just happened to be in her room. Isn't that nuts?
That is crazy. No, it is amazing. And I mean, we go these weird places. Like, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a while, so it's kind of like you go into a religious thing.
Yeah.
But like, I don't consider myself that well known. But like, literally, I was being stopped like every 5 seconds. Like, "Hey, Clint, how you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Maybe it's because
I think everybody just remembers the fat guy.
it's like, "Hey, I saw that fat guy get his butt kicked once."
It was like at OBU. I could have ran for any office at OBU under Big T.
Right. Yeah.
I knew who Travis Johnson was.
Yeah.
But if you said Big T, he's always at intramurals. Oh yeah. Well, Clint, all right, let's get to business, right?
Oh, we got to get to brass tacks.
We got a Holy Schnikes. It's pretty.
How much was it? You know, my younger days, I'd pro wrestle some, and you do these independent shows with, you know, Tommy Rich and stuff like that, and the little kid inside of you would die every time.
Yeah.
Every time you'd meet one of your heroes, and then because who was my favorite player when we were kids?
Brett Favre.
I love Brett Favre, and basically, and I don't have all the details, but it looks bad. It looks really, really bad. He knew what he might have been doing was illegal. They were diverting funds from welfare from poor people that need the money in Mississippi.
The poorest state in
the poorest state.
Yeah.
And so it's going to those people in need, and he was diverting millions of dollars to his thing, and like he was using like it for a volleyball stadium.
Well, I did look up some details on it, Clint.
Go ahead, Big T.
Part of the money went to him for speech engagements that he never showed up for. Okay. So he got paid for them, but he never showed up and gave the speeches. Now he's given that money back, supposedly. He also got money for a volleyball facility at Southern Miss where his daughter was playing volleyball out of that welfare money. And then his other connection to it was he was trying to get money out of it for an indoor practice facility for Southern Miss when they were trying to recruit Deion Sanders' son to play quarterback for him.
Yeah.
Now, I think there's another famous person involved in this too.
It's the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase's son, Ted DiBiase Jr.
Now, I don't know what his connection is. I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's him and Brett. I think it's both his boys who wrestled in WWE for a little bit.
So, Clint, my question is, right now, Brett Favre has been scrubbed off everything he does.
Yeah.
He was on a radio show up in Wisconsin. He's no longer on it. He did some other podcast things here and there that he had regular gigs on. No more.
Right.
How scarred is he now?
He's done. He's done. I mean, you don't get much lower than what he did. And he may serve time.
Yeah, they still haven't gone to the legal things with him. They're,
Yeah.
Now, and to be fair, he's saying that he didn't know where the money was coming from. He was just using some money that some government officials was offering him.
Right. He did, but apparently there are text messages saying like he knew what he might have been doing was illegal.
However, there's some, yeah, exactly. There may be some out there
but regardless, Brett Favre's done. I mean, he's not going to get, and you'd be hard pressed to find a bigger Brett Favre fan than I was, because he's my favorite player. I love the way he played the game.
Yeah.
I hated it whenever, the Packers got divorced. It's like Brett Favre got me in the divorce.
Yeah.
But you want to look at the way Aaron Rodgers played. Maybe it's all the mushrooms he's on, but it makes they're looking smart for it. No, he's done. He's if anyone's ever deserved to truly get canceled, it's him for this. It's despicable. But on a lighter note, another quarterback had a big thing. Have you seen Chad Powers?
Yes. Yes. Eli Manning as Chad Powers, folks. If you haven't seen that video yet, which most of you probably have, it's been out a few weeks. So if you're a sports fan, you've probably watched it. But just in case, if you haven't, Eli Manning puts on makeup and goes as a walk-on tryout to Penn State as Chad Powers, and runs the 40 in a blistering 5.4.
5.49. It was all a bit of a 5.5.
Yeah. Anyway, it was really funny. It was really good. So if you get a chance to look it up, it's of course he throws the ball wonderfully, and
the
great footwork.
The analysts over there, they want to sign this Chad Powers guy.
Yeah.
I see something in him.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's over there.
Yeah.
He's sitting there, run, think fast, run fast, think fast, run fast. Said he hadn't run the 40 since he was a freshman at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Like, that's great.
That's
message, like, at what point do you stop running the 40?
Yeah.
Like, we ran it every year, but I mean, you got to think the running backs and everybody's testing their 40. They just look at Eli and go, don't worry about it.
When you can throw the ball, doesn't matter. Well, Clint,
go ahead.
Big C, Bigger T podcast been having big things happening last week.
Right.
Didn't get a chance to watch it. You need to go back and watch and listen. Jordan Dominic, the second leading sacker in the SEC, second on the Razorbacks also. Great interview with him. We had a great time talking to him. He stayed longer than we had asked him to stay, and then we quit recording and he kept talking after that.
Yeah.
And, just a great time with him.
And we were on the phone with him a good bit before we came on, because he was late getting out of practice, and he wanted to be sure that we knew he wasn't flaking on us.
That's right.
So he was actually in his car driving.
Yeah, just a good kid, just a real good guy. So if I know the last couple of weeks have been tough for the Hogs, but if you want a good reason to root for these kids, watch or listen to that podcast. And then tonight, Clint, the other day, a couple of days ago after the Alabama game, I get a message says, "Hey man, when am I coming back on? So we can talk about this or something like that. And it was none other than Big O, Oliver Miller. He was wanting to come back on with us tonight, and we were going to make that happen, but he messaged me this afternoon and said that he had an emergency come up and wasn't able to tonight. So we're going to reschedule that one. So we're going to get his take on how the football season's going. And then right now, Clint, it looks like we're going to have Christopher Pooh Paul.
I didn't know if you wanted to give it away because you always seem shaky about it. But
Well, I think we've got it confirmed, so we'll see. But on the 17th is when we're going to interview him, so we'll have it out that night or early the next morning. So we're excited about that. If you don't know who he is, look him up. An Alabama game on the onside kick, the guy that made the sweet hit right as the kicker catches the ball, that was Pooh Paul. Okay. He's next up in that linebacker room. He's already getting a lot of playing time, making a lot of tackles. But he's got two good ones in front of him, and he's still getting a lot of playing time.
Well, and they like to keep like a 3-man rotation in there almost. Yeah. And he's been playing a lot. He's been that third man. Yeah. Obviously they're Bumper and and you got Sanders. Yeah. But they're both going to be gone next year. This is Bumper's COVID year. Yeah. And I think by the time they play BYU, by the end of the BYU game, I think Bumper's going to be the all-time leading tackler in Arkansas. I think he might even, with a huge game, he may break it this week, but it's going to be a huge game. But he's there.
So Clint, that's it being said, we didn't get a chance really to talk much about the A&M game last week.
Yeah.
So
I'll ask you, are you panicking yet, Travis?
I'm disappointed, but I'm not panicking.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't think A&M's as good as they were billed to be in the preseason. But if you look at it going into the season, everybody told you what's the two toughest games on the schedule.
A&M and Bama.
Yeah. A&M and Bama. Obviously, I think A&M's not going to be that good.
Yeah.
A lot of it is they haven't figured out the quarterback situation. Then Alabama's just Alabama. I mean, it just kind of was a reminder. It's kind of like the Georgia game last year, like we just weren't on that level.
Yeah.
That's probably your national champions. Then they just, So I'm not panicking, but I am concerned. And the thing I'm most concerned about is this team's psyche. Because there's a lot of chirping going on from the fans. A lot. People are comparing a lot of people are comparing Sam Pittman to Belima. People are even comparing him to Chad Morris after that.
Yeah.
You got within 5 of Alabama in the third quarter, and it just got away from you.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you on that, the play that really broke the game was, I think, and I'm jumping to Alabama, so I apologize, but I'm rolling, so let's go with it. When it broke open was that big run by the quarterback, the second string quarterback. That's when it broke open because you're within 5. All the momentum's going Arkansas's way. Bumper Pool, senior linebacker, about to be the all-time leading tackler, is a spy and just misses the tackle.
Yeah, and he's taken I was listening to the Buzz this morning, and there were people calling in because Sterling on the Buzz, makes those radio spots for it's not Big Red, but the other one, Double B's.
Yeah.
Gas stations or whatever, convenience stores. And in his spot, he called out Bumper Pool by name on that play. But here's the thing, folks. Yes, Bumper Pool missed that tackle.
Yeah, oh yeah.
However, on any play like that, Bumper Pool plays linebacker. There should be a safety or a cornerback behind him also there. And they wasn't even in the screen. They wasn't anywhere close to that run.
Yeah.
They were chasing him down from behind. Okay. So to blame it all on Bumper because he missed the tackle is not right.
No,
It's all Bumper's fault. Now it was
and that wasn't trying to point out Bumper, but I'm just
I know
saying,
you wasn't.
what I'm coming around to say.
I'm trying to make that clear because people need to realize, on a play like that, there's other people supposed to be there if a guy misses. Because even if you're the spy, there's a good chance you're not as athletic as the guy you're spying. If you're a linebacker spying on a quarterback, there's a lot of times where that quarterback's going to be more athletic than you. And so you're going to have to depend on, sometimes all you got to do is you slow them down for the safety to get there to help you. And he did, at least make him have to move, to slow him down a little bit. And there was no one there to help Bump.
No, and there wasn't. But the game was over after that play.
Yeah.
And Jordan Dominic got held in face mask on the play.
Yeah.
But refs are going to miss that.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't a Bama call. Refs are just going to miss that sometimes. It happened. But they made the right call. The defensive call was right.
Yeah.
It really was. He had the right defense call. It just their athlete out-athleted your athlete.
Yeah.
It's just what happened. The week before, you're talking about the KJ touchdown where it gets knocked out return.
Mm.
The game wasn't over after that, but if he would have scored that touchdown, I think the game would have been over.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you're right.
You shouldn't panic because you're 2 plays really from having different stories against the preseason number 6 and number 1.
Yeah.
The other games, maybe not Missouri State, but the other games you did what you're supposed to do. So I'm not panicking. Yeah, you're not going to win the SEC West.
No.
But you can realistically still finish second.
Yeah, it's the biggest concerns I have is our pass defense.
Yeah.
And us missing those runs. Those letting those big runs get away on us.
Yeah.
That to me, that's the biggest thing I'm concerned about. That does concern me against Mississippi State. Against Mississippi State, what's our pass defense going to look like against them? Our safeties going to be nowhere to be found back there again. We got to figure that out. And I know we got injuries.
Yeah.
That we got our 3 best defensive backs are injured, and out. Against Alabama, I don't know what Slusher was doing in there. He gave up those 2 big passes. He shouldn't have been in there.
Yeah.
He was limping around, and I don't know if it was him not being honest with the coaches about his injury and saying he could go, or what.
Or if they thought a one-legged Slusher was their best option.
That's very true.
But it's the injuries to the secondary hurt. They really do. It's amazing how some of the fans have really turned to me because like I said, those were your 2 losses. And a lot of people had those down as L's before the season.
Yeah.
And neither one of them, I mean, the Bama game got away from you in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Realistically, here's what you could be looking at. There's a good chance that come the end of the season that Ole Miss is rolling in 8-1, 9-1. And that Arkansas is rolling in, with 2 losses.
Mm.
That Arkansas Ole Miss game, if we fix it, this is what I'm just saying these kids have to play for. There's a New Year's 6 is not out of the possibility. Not out of the realm of possibility. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's still a lot to play for. If that's Pittman, that's what I'm telling the guys. But we got to.
Yeah, I think you have to believe that. But Clint, let's talk about this. What can we do this week? What are they working on? What's the things you have to do this week for Mississippi State? Because we got a good Mississippi State team we're facing this week.
Right.
This is not a this is a good team. Leach has got a good squad.
He does.
They're always going to be able to pass, okay, but they got a little bit of a running game right now too.
Yeah. They
have a quarterback that our pass rush is probably not going to be able to rattle. He's experienced. He's poised. He's going to be hard to rattle. So, what do you do with the problem with the health issues we have? What do you work on this week that can bring about real changes for this game?
What you want to do, number one, is you want to control the ball. You want to control it on offense. You want to establish a run. You want to run the ball. You don't want to you want to keep Will Rogers on the bench as much as you can. That's the realistic part of the situation. The other thing is you got to get the pressure on them, and you got to do it with coverage. I think you need to run similar to what they ran in the past, but drop the shell. Let them, maybe keep Bumper and Sanders more in the middle of the field. But, really I think you need to run the 3-man front, and you've got to get pressure with those 3 guys. That's what you got to do. I mean,
I'll be honest with you, I like our ability to do that this year even better than last year.
Yeah.
Because, to me, with the guys we have, I think we got some guys, with Landon Jackson, with Jordan Dominic, with Zach Williams, with and then the guys inside, I think we got some good pass rushers.
Yeah, no, Isaiah Nichols, Terry Hampton.
Mm.
But that's what I think if I'm calling, I'm going to run pretty much the same thing I ran against them the first year we played. I'm going to run something very similar, and then I'm just going to gamble that my defensive line can get some pressure. And then I may have a couple blitzes and stuff in my back pocket that I may bring out later on. But for the most part, that's the way I think they should play it.
Well, I'm going to break it down a little more to the base level. Okay, you talked about more game plan stuff. I was kind of asking what they're going to do in practice this week to get ready.
Oh, sorry.
And I think whatever, I don't know what drills you do for defensive backs, but whatever drills where you practice on where your eyes are. And I would run those about half my defensive time with those defensive backs. Whatever drill you have to make sure where their eyes are, so they're not getting tricked by movement, by jet sweep movement, motions. They're not getting sucked into the run on play actions, on RPO. Whatever it is that they do to practice that, okay? And I don't know. I've never been a defensive back, never been close to it, never coached a defensive back a day in my life. Intramural girls flag, that doesn't count.
Did you really just try to pull that out like it was part of your resume?
Yeah, that's part of my resume.
I
coached a mediocre girls flag football intramural team. Take you that. All right.
Well, in that case, I do have a little bit of experience running a fantasy football team.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And I have the virtual trophies to prove it.
Oh.
Anyway. But no, seriously, I've never, so I don't know what the coaches do for that. But whatever they do, they need to be doing those. And here's the other thing I would do this week, Clint. And most people would disagree with this, and Coach Pittman's probably not going to do it. I would go full pads one day. I would break out the Oklahoma drill. I would do every tackling drill we could do. And you may say, well, we already got injuries. Well, I'd rather have injuries than look like what we've looked on that field the last 2 weeks trying to make tackles. So I'll take some injuries in practice because we practiced tackling. But if we improve in our tackling this week, I'll take that over the embarrassment it's going to save us against Mississippi State. Because those missed tackles and the tackling that we've showed in some of these games has been embarrassing. It's been embarrassing. Almost as embarrassing as saying that you know something about football because you coached the intramural girls flag football. It's embarrassing. And so I would get out there and I would let them tackle because I really think you watched Hard Knocks.
I did.
Dan Campbell, and one of the things he discussed on there that I thought was brilliant was finding the happy medium on how much you tackle and how much you don't.
Yeah.
And he said, look, it's proven you get injured more if we don't tackle. If we don't get your body used to tackling, you end up getting hurt more. But we don't want to go too far to where you tackle too much and get people hurt. And I think a lot of these colleges and a lot of just football teams in general don't realize that happy medium where it needs to be. And I think that's why we see, look, Arkansas is not the only team struggling tackle.
No.
Lots of them. And so if I was that's the two big things I'd be doing for the defense this week.
Yeah.
For the offense, you got to figure out who your quarterback's going to be.
See, and I was going to bring that up. I mean, obviously it's KJ's team. You people tweeting and calling in Drive Time Sports think KJ shouldn't be the quarterback. You're stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it any simpler than that. I've not seen a single quarterback ranking for the SEC that's had KJ Jefferson any worse than 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's been anywhere from 2 to 3, 4 or 5. But I mean, he is one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in this league.
But the big question is he going to play?
Is he? You should know something. We should know something tomorrow on Wednesday. But if you're Pittman, would you say anything?
No, I'd try to keep it till Saturday.
So we probably won't know till about 10 o'clock. It'll start trickling out. Well, a little bit before that. It'll trickle out Saturday morning.
If I'm Pittman, if he can stand up and walk and throw a football, which if it's his head, he can do that.
Yeah.
I would have him at the beginning of practice, that first 20 minutes that the press is there, and he would be throwing to some receivers.
Yeah.
I'd have him. Now, here's the other question, Clint. You ready? Who ends up starting at quarterback Saturday?
I think Cade.
Make your prediction.
I think Cade will. If the number 2 guy's out there, I think Cade will take the first snap.
You think Fortner? Huh?
I do. I think Fortner. When Pittman said he's the number 2 quarterback, now obviously there's been all kinds of drama, and it was really the first bit of drama you've had with Pittman. It really was with Malik deleting everything off his Instagram and
Yeah, and then coming back and
well, I'm sure it hurt his pride. I mean, if you're any kind of competitor at all, it hurts your pride a little bit.
well, and Clint,
Go ahead.
I just have to say this. I'm a support the coaches. I'm support the Hogs guy through and through. You know that, right?
Right.
I'm a positive, glasses half full normally. This is the first time I've questioned Sam Pittman, I think.
Yeah.
Because here's why I'm questioning.
Well, no, it's fine. And this will be a good argument because I'm going to, me and you're going to disagree on this one. So,
well, here's my questioning for him. You've put out a depth chart all year long that says Hornsby is your backup. Then you get in a game situation. You bring in a sub for KJ because he gets hurt. Now, if Pittman would have said, we brought in Cade Fortner because he's a better passer, or we thought his passing would be better because we needed more passing in that situation. And that's why we brought him in. I would have been fine with that. But instead, he goes to the press conference and says, well, it was decided weeks ago that Fortner was our backup. So now you've been lying, Coach. I love you, Coach. I wouldn't trade you for another coach in this country. But you just said you're a liar. You've either been lying to Malik all this time and the media, or just the media, or somebody. There's somebody you've been not given the honest truth. And it looks like he's been lying to Malik all this time. If it was decided weeks ago that it was going to be Fortner.
I seriously doubt that. I've only seen one other quarterback situation handled. I've seen a quarterback situation handled. Seen several quarterback situations handled worse. But I doubt this was the first Malik did it. If anything, he probably knew. And I'm assuming here, I don't know. No one's checked with me. But this is best case scenario is that he told them and he just didn't want to call attention to it. So he just kept putting the same thing out there. No, it could be that. It could be that, or it could be, it was just, I don't know. It wasn't.
Well, here's the thing, Clint.
Uncomfortable situation.
Here's the thing. And I'm going to tell you, I was listening to Drive Time today, and Rick Schaefer said this, and I tended to agree with him. I would not be shocked to see Malik start this week.
I wouldn't either.
I would not be surprised to see him be the first one out there. And now we're going to need to pass against them. But I would not be surprised to see Malik be the quarterback that starts against Mississippi State. It would not shock me at all. In fact, I'm be honest with you, the more I think about it, the more I kind of expect it to maybe happen if KJ can't go. I don't know.
Well, I mean, probably nobody will know until game time.
Yeah.
But on one hand, also I want to applaud Pittman, whether he's been lying or not.
Yeah, and once again, look, I'm just trying to call a spade, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, because you can't, look, I love Sam Pittman, and there's no other coach I'd rather have over him. I just think in this situation, his lack of being a head coach is showing up right here.
Right.
And the way he's handled this.
But on the other hand, if you've got two guards, and one guard is practicing better and outplaying the other guard, who should be in front of who on the depth chart?
Well,
You see what I'm saying? To me, it's the same thing in quarterback. If
I agree. I agree with you.
no, but what I'm saying, if it really is what it is, I applaud him.
And I applaud him for doing that. But here's the thing, Clint. That's fine if he does that, but change it on your depth chart.
Yeah, it could have been handled a lot better.
And here's the truth: if it was a guard, no one would care about it.
Yeah, but
we wouldn't be talking about it on here.
No, but at the same,
how many times as a guard went down and they moved the backup tackle over to guard instead of playing the guy that was second on the depth chart?
They did that to me at Arkansas too.
Yeah, I mean that stuff happens all the time, right?
No, it does, but
you got to get the best players out there.
But it could have been handled so much better, much better.
And that's what I'm saying.
But
I think Pittman's going to learn.
Correct. Well, you have a great point that his inexperience as a head coach is his third year as a head coach.
That's right.
And he's not. Last year, obviously, Malik was the number 2. They've got the good fortune of having Cade, transfer in. That's got some starting experience. But so, Travis, did you come up with a player of the week for this week?
You
want me to go first?
You go first.
All right. I'll let you think about it because we didn't discuss this beforehand. And we usually discuss it. I'm gonna take the easy way out. Keytron Jackson, I think, had he showed up, showed out. It's obvious these last few games that he's what they said he was last year. He's going to be a special wide receiver. Well, they said that he was running and Pittman said he was running number 1 most of the fall, and then Landers beat him out.
Yeah,
it was Landers beat him out. But I guess Warren Thompson was injured and was out this week, so it kind of created more playing time for Keytron. And I don't think Keytron's going to give much of that playing time back.
I agree with you.
And also, great downfield blocker. That's one thing Pittman talked about with him. He, because was it the Cincinnati game? He got that great block for Trey Knox.
Yeah.
So great blocking downfield. And he's definitely becoming, I think he'll probably be your number 1 wide receiver next year.
Yeah, you're probably so. Probably right. He had a great game, and he probably would have been my first pick. But let me look here. I think. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and give it to him. Maybe it's just because. Maybe it's just because we spent time with him last week.
Oh, yeah.
But I watched a lot of Jordan Dominic this week when he was out there. And I don't know what his stats were. He may not have had that great of stats. But Jordan Dominic did everything a defensive end's supposed to do in that game. He kept contained when he wasn't held. He just I thought he did a good job staying on the defensive line and doing what he was supposed to do in a big game like that and going against one of his former teammates in that Gibbs running back. And that guy was good.
Yeah, he was every bit what Jordan Dominic said he was.
Yeah, he was solid.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give mine. Maybe it's a homer. Since we're buddies now. But
hey, podcast is a good 3/4 year, so you can give it to whoever you want.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But no, so we'll say Jordan Dominic for mine.
No, that was good. But I want to tell you that are to the edge, they're thinking like, give it. I guarantee you, if this was a Chad Morris or Brett Bielema coach team, I would tell you to panic.
Yeah.
I really would. I see Pittman circling the wagons.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, he's telling them the same thing when we broke the losing streak at Mississippi State. He's like, whoever's on the plane is all we need.
Yeah.
That's all we need. That's what I'm telling the guys. If KJ's not on the plane, KJ's going to be there whether he's playing or not.
Yeah.
But that's all they need. Whoever they play is who they need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right. And they just gotta start believing that. And here's the thing, Clint. There's more talent on this team than we've seen the last 2 weeks.
Oh, for sure.
There's more talent. We're just the weaknesses are, well, and look, A&M, there was just some bad bounces, just some bad bounces. I mean, it was just a weird game from start to finish.
Yeah.
There's just some, and then the Alabama game, we had that third quarter and everything, but really it was just, it was kind of like the Georgia game last year, or whenever it was. Didn't have much of a chance, but I think I want to see a different attitude against Mississippi State. I want to see us tighten up the issues that we have. Because, we got Mississippi State, which is a winnable game. Then we got BYU right after that, which is, I predicted us to lose to, but knowing about it, what I know about them now, I'm not going to predict us to lose to them, because they're not quite as good as I thought, as I was hearing at the beginning of the season. So, anyway, Clint, before we close up, how about them Kansas Jayhawks?
Man, 5-0, which we got a guy, a former teammate of mine and Wes's, Wes Ontiveros, his son plays for the Kansas Jayhawks. 5-0. They got a college game day, I believe, coming to Lawrence.
Yeah, and their coach was a D2, at a D2 school, killing it there, and they moved him up, gets the job at Kansas, and just, a place where no one thought anyone could ever go there and win, and man, he's just killing it. Our buddy Patrick Netherton had him on his show yesterday.
That's awesome.
Apparently he's been friends with him since he was at the D2 school, and so he had him on. So that was a huge gift for. If you look up the Patrick Netherton show on Facebook, you can watch the recording.
No, that is very, very, very cool. No, and a lot of people saying that guy's going to be that's who Nebraska's going to go after. They're going to go after that guy.
I wouldn't doubt if he stayed at Kansas for a little while.
No, he's done wonders there. Well, Kansas is one of them fun jobs. It's kind of like Cutcliffe at Duke.
Yeah.
Go 6-6, 7-5, 8-4. They're tickle pink. They're doing backflips. Just get them to a bowl.
Yeah.
Get them to the Birmingham Bowl, and they're happy.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens? You win a national championship in football at Duke or Kansas. They're like, that's really cute, coach. Did you know basketball season starts in a month?
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually, I stole that joke from Jim Rome because he's talking about if they won the national championship of basketball in Oklahoma. They'd be like, that's cute. Spring football starts in a month.
Yeah, that's right.
They wouldn't care.
Yeah. Well, Clint, what are you watching?
Well, God, I watched the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, as we said last week. That was the last thing.
Man, I started that after y'all talked about it, and man, it just creeps me out. I don't know.
Yeah. Episode 6. And I don't feel like I'm giving any spoiler alerts because he eats people. He murders and, he was what he was. But it's just like the sweetest guy. It's just the sweetest guy. And you're like, okay, maybe I don't know everything. Maybe he liked this one, so he let him go. It's like maybe. And it's just, you just at the end of the episode, you're just like,
Yeah.
You just want to go. You just want to curl up under a blanket and sip a tea and have a good cry.
Yes, right. Yeah.
You know, it just
Yeah.
it's
It was
it's
just a little too freaky for me.
yeah, it's.
I don't know if I'll go back and finish it or
I
not.
think that was part of the basic white person in me was that I have to watch a Netflix murder documentary
Like, I
show.
love murder documentaries, but when it's stuff like that, man, that just, oh my gosh,
Well,
so freaky.
yeah,
So freaky. Well,
but
I hadn't watched anything new lately. So I've kind of gone back and just watched, but I've been on a Guys Grocery Games kick.
never watched Guy's Grocery Game.
Man, it's such a good show. It's you know the premise of it?
No, I don't. You go ahead and just break it down for me.
Well, it's Guy Fieri, you know, and he's he's got a grocery store. And so he gets usually 4 chefs. And then sometimes I really like the ones where he gets his chef friends. Okay. So he gets like, you know, some famous chefs in there. But he'll also bring in people from his Triple D, you know, the dine-ins, drivers, and dives or whatever. You know, he'll bring in some of those chefs or just other chefs at different times. But they can he has different games they do, and they can go shopping in the aisles. Like sometimes he'll just give them certain aisles they can go down, or he'll give them like a list, like say how to make a pecan pie, but they got to flip this dish so that you can use those items, but they can't make a pecan pie. They have to make like a fancy dinner out of it, you know, but they got to use those things, certain things in it, whatever.
Right.
Like he'll have times where he'll bring in people that are real good at using spice. And so he'll, you know, like they got to do real spicy dishes every time, stuff like that. It's really cool, man, because it's I guess what's cool about it is he has fun doing it. And then like all those chefs, you can tell like they're all really good friends. So they're even like he has 3 judges every time. And you can tell they're having a good time watching everything. And then the times when he has those chefs actually get out there and compete, you know, you can tell they're really having a good time then. Anyway, and then there's always some cool stories, you know, at the end of it, they get to he gives them like a scavenger hunt type list, and they go around, and for every item they find, they win so many $1,000 up to 20,000. And then some of them do it, you know, like when the chefs do it, they do it for charity and raise money for their different charities or whatever. So anyway, it's a fun show if you hadn't watched it. Which I'm a Food Network junkie, man. I watch.
Oh, I've been, you know, I'm still watching Hell's Kitchen. Like
Before I got on here, I was watching one where they take a home chef. It's a new one. It just started with Eddie Jackson hosting it. You remember him?
Oh yeah.
Played for the Hogs, played for Carolina.
Okay.
Cornerback. Anyway, he hosts it. And what they do is they bring a home chef in thinking that they're auditioning for a cooking, like a training home chef show. Well, when they get there, they're competing against a real chef. So like the first one is Alex Borticelli or whatever her name is,
Right.
one Iron Chef. And so he's competing against her. Well, then Eddie goes out into the street and recruits 6 people to come in to be the taste testers. And if the home chef gets 1 vote, they win $5,000.
Oh, that's pretty. But I'm not gonna lie to you. When you said you remember Eddie Jackson, my mind immediately went to Randy Jackson. I was like, yeah, I know who that is. I know who Randy Jackson is.
Yeah, no.
I've got a samurai sword signed by Randy Jackson.
No, Eddie Jackson.
So now I did, and I know our time's about up, but I was going to tell you. So we made something this weekend. I've been like, I get on YouTube and I start watching barbecue stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay, something I want to try. So Anna actually made it this weekend. but you tell me if this sounds good. You take a manicotti, then you take like sausage and cheese, and you stuff the manicotti. Then you wrap it in bacon, and then you throw it in the smoker. I think about 300 for 2 hours, and just the bacon, like it seeps and it cooks the manicotti.
Just the fat from the bacon?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
They're called shotgun shells. We made them this weekend, and they are phenomenal.
Dude, you know how hungry I am now that you said that?
I know. I haven't ate supper yet, so I'm waiting on this.
Oh my goodness, that sounds so good.
Yeah. Well, because we did that, and I know I believe I talked about the ribs that I cooked with Hog Lord on here. But so yeah, we did that. So I was like, I go and fire up the smoker. I need to do it for more than just shotgun shells.
Yeah.
But oh man, they turned out good. It was a good experiment.
Well, folks, thank y'all so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. The podcast this week.
In the mullet room.
This is the front, party in the back. Like and share. Share and like. Don't forget our boys at Robert Branscombe Hometown Roofing. If you need a roof, look them up. They're great. If
anywhere in Arkansas, he can take care of you.
Always got to say thank you to our buddy Mike Floyd. All the other listeners out there, watchers, whatever. We thank y'all so much. I know we talked a long time ago about t-shirts. Hopefully we've got an order in. So those of y'all that gave us sizes, we got those sizes, but we got some extras. So if you want one, holler. We'll let you know how much those will be and all that good stuff. And anyway, Clint, you got anything else?
No.
That's it from the Thunderdome.
Bye, everybody.
Y'all have an awesome week. Go Hogs. Beat those Bulldogs in Mississippi State. Make the Pirates say, "Oh,
I hate you, Jerry the Bulldog.
You stole me booty."
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change.